I haven't left my house in a month to do anything creative. I've only left it like anyone else to do supermarket stuff, which was pretty scary. I kind of became agoraphobic. And I was scared to leave the house, not because of the virus, but because of my anger. I'm angry at the system, I'm angry at many things. And I tried to reflect on these through my writing, and I couldn't write for weeks. I started to write again in my notebooks, where I like to cut and paste paper. I collect dead flowers. My page are filled with dead flowers. And I know they are not dead, they are kept. And I thought about that these past few days. Why do I keep these flowers? Do I try to keep them alive? Are they kept alive when they're alive and also in their death, in my books? And that's why today I want to talk to you about fragility, because this made me think about fragility, how fragile we all are, especially faced with what's happening around us and the fragility of our minds, not only our bodies, but our minds. And as I write these notes in my notebook, where I always keep a photograph of my mother. This photograph is from 1969 in Turkey, where she's reading, she says here, that she's reading a monologue. So I imagine it's a text and she's performing. And I always keep this with me because it reminds me that I also always want to share something. I also always want to give. And these past few weeks, I got so afraid to give. I got so afraid to share. Because I thought I had nothing to say. Because I thought, what can I add? What more can I say to what's happening out there that's scaring all of us? But then again, coming back to fragility, I thought, yes, I am fragile, and I want to show this fragility. And as I write these lines, I was listening to a 9 Inch Nails song called The Fragile. And in this song, you have these lyrics: I won't let you fall apart. I won't let you fall apart. And this for me has been even more meaningful because since the beginning of this lockdown, let's say, confinement, self-confinement, whatever we call it here in the Netherlands, I have shared my home with someone who is even more fragile than I am. And this crisis has pushed me to actually live a love story. I never thought that I could be able to love someone with so much compassion and fragility and vulnerability. But how do I tell a story about fragility and love now in a space like this, in front of a camera? I would have loved to have you all in front of me to give you this emotion. But there is something in between us. There's a screen now in between us. So I did something else radical with my body. I let this person who I love shave my head. And this is a very radical gesture. One of the reasons why I wanted to do this is because I was dyeing my hair blonde, as maybe some of you know. And my roots were coming back. And you know, the roots, they always come back. There's no way of hiding who you are, where you're from, which is okay. But then I looked at former pictures of myself, and I thought, I don't want to go back there. I don't want to become the same person I was. So it was very symbolic, of course, and I thought, what can I do? I'm going to get rid of it all. But I want this person I love to do it for me. And this moment of connection we had, while this gesture was happening, me losing all my hair, created a bond that I think I will never have experienced otherwise. I would have never dared to do such a gesture if we weren't in all this these fragile moments, and this is what I wanted to show, using my own body, a way to express certain feelings I had that I couldn't put in writing. So, I could say, the man I love shaved my head. And I can also add, the man I love bakes me bread. He does. And these are other things I am learning now. This person symbolizing everything that goes against toxic masculinity. Every possibility that a man can be fragile, vulnerable, crying on my shoulder, but at the same time being strong. At the same time showing so much love and compassion. I want to translate all the love songs of my geographies to you. Sezen Aksu and Jacques Brel. All the newer sounds too. I want to translate the yearning to go back places. A feeling you were never faced with. Your life spent in this one city. From birth on, I was defined by movement. I want to translate those recipes my grandmother brings to life so that you can taste what it is like to be loved beyond borders. Something we know too well, we who grew up with the nostalgia of a country we never lived in. Isn't it how we never get lost in translation? I want to translate my imagination so it can merge into yours, so we can turn our present into a past that will not fade into a blurred, forgotten photograph.